So Trump is saying that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is now dead, and I want to go over the latest with what's going on. This is now coming from multiple sources. Israeli came out and said it first, but I just wasn't sure, wanted to wait. And now, again, multiple sources of Bloomberg. Iran Supreme Leader Khamenei is dead, Trump says. I haven't seen it confirmed necessarily from Iran, and reports were saying that if you're in Iran and you're trying to seize power now, you'll keep it quiet until you feel like you have enough power. At the moment, if I had to bet, there's going to be a lot of different people positioning to figure out, who's going to take control. This is frankly a mess. I think anyone could see that. The Trump people claim, guys, everything's better. You're all more free. Unfortunately, if you have any memory of Iraq, when they removed Saddam Hussein, it wasn't like suddenly everything ended. And I think that's the easiest comparison here. But all bets are off. We don't know how ugly this is going to get. And I'm just being frank with you guys. Iran's UN ambassador accuses U.S. and Israel of a war crime. This is just coming out a couple minutes ago. It says here, this is illegal, entirely devoid of legal foundation. This, again, from Iran. He accused them of deliberate and persistent targeting. He referenced a strike on the girls' school, so over 100 children have been killed. This is coming from Iran saying that. This is not only an act of aggression, it is a war crime and a crime against humanity. From the Israeli side, they say one person has died after succumbing to wounds. 20 others have been injured. And then you just read more about error alerts around. Rubio was supposed to go to Israel. I guess he's not going. The quote here is, due to current circumstances, Secretary Rubio will no longer travel to Israel on March 2nd. This is the reference to the school. Now it's 108 people. That's what they're saying. Trump, I showed you guys in the last video, but it's important to see what Trump is doing here. He's just dancing the night away, doing fundraising. This is at Mar-a-Lago. And then he's telling people, I got to go to work. But that's who he is. He's dancing while bombs are flying. I mean, you can see right there. The White House put out some pictures here, and it says President Donald J. Trump monitors U.S. military operations in, they're calling it Operation Epic Fury, February 28th, 2026. I see Rubio in this picture. That should be, I think it's Susan Wild is her name. I believe that's the chief of staff. And then where's everyone else? So this would be in Florida. And I've told you guys this before when we look at this stuff. To them, I guess this is security, is hang up a bunch of curtains when you're running these operations, right? This, like, you're running these operations out of your golf course. That's seriously, you can see it for yourself. This is in Florida. And where's Hegseth here? Where's JD Vance? Things. I think they're in a different location. So this says here, President Donald Trump monitors the military operations. So they got a bunch of screens set up again at the golf course with a bunch of curtains. There's Susie Wild again. There's Rubio. There's Trump. And then this must be somewhere else then, right? It says they're in the Situation Room. So this would be Vice President J.D. Vance, Cabinet Secretaries in the Situation Room. That must be Besant there, I think. I'm not sure. That might be a transportation guy right there. It's hard to say. But I'm just showing you guys who these people are. It's just, I mean, everything is it's obviously completely whacked out. It's just, I don't know if we've ever seen like this in history where a president from his golf course starts bombing people and then just hangs up curtains for, quotes, security. I mean, what is this? Then the statement then is Khamenei is dead. We'll go through what Trump is saying. I think they're going to try to attack more, basically. Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. It's coming from Trump. This is not only justice for people of Iran, but all the great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed and mutilated by Khamenei and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. Now, I want to be clear on this. Whenever we have these discussions, this is no way a defense of Khamenei like that. Just doesn't necessarily mean this is what we need to be spending our money on, or that we should, always use the military when in doubt. Because if you want to use this as your example, then I guess we should attack every country in the world of leaders that we don't like, or things that they don't do. And it's not defense of Iran. I just hope that's clear. It just doesn't necessarily mean that we need to get involved with everything. I mean, this because it doesn't necessarily mean that removing him is going to be better. I mean, and this should be up to the Iranian people, right? And you can support the Iranian people in other ways. You don't have to just send the military all the time. I just always want to make that clear on that stuff, because that's the first thing that the Trump people always say. Oh, Chris, you just hate freedom. You hate freedom for everyone. It's just like, if you learn anything from history, it's not that easy just to do regime change and nation building, right? And it's not like the USA has unlimited cash to do these things. And it ends up being dragged into this stuff for years, not just a few days, for years. So this is where we're at right now. I mean, it's just happening now, and basically you have a power vacuum. Trump then says he was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems, and working closely with Israel. That's coming from Trump, working closely with Israel. There was not a thing he or other leaders that have been killed along with him could do. This is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. That's according to Trump. We're hearing that many of their IRGC, military, and other security and police forces no longer want to fight and are looking for immunity from us. Okay. So I don't know how to read that one. So does that mean then we're going to be taking a lot of Iranian refugees? Is that what we're talking about? And I mean, just play the scenario out. So is that our plan? We remove the leadership, and then anyone who wishes from Iran to come to USA, hey, come on over. Is that what we're saying here? I don't know. I'm just reading here, looking for immunity, or they're going to try to cut a deal, and they'll say they'll be a puppet of the USA. Is that how we'll read this? This whole thing delegitimizes any sort of uprising, as I mentioned before in the last video. As I said last meeting, that if the U.S. backs a particular leader or candidate, just in the eyes of local people, like if you want to have true democracy everywhere, like it has to come from the people. The local people have to say, yes, that's what we want to do. Like foreign power coming in to force on others, it's just not going to work. As I said last night, Trump, now they can have immunity. Later, they only get death. Okay, that's from Trump. Hopefully the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. This is all hope. I mean, and this is something I saw before too. There were reports coming in from American intel that the current situation, you could get someone even more, you could call hardliner or more extreme in the current environment that it is. So, right, don't necessarily think things are going to get better, according to Trump. I personally think it's going to get worse, just in terms of chaos. You could get a civil war situation, certainly, as a possibility. There's any number of things that can happen. It's hard to predict this stuff. I will say, though, regardless, it'll be ugly all around. Trump then says the process should be soon, starting in that not only the death of Khamenei, but the country has been only one day very much destroyed and even obliterated. The heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue. So I guess Trump wants to keep attacking, according to Trump, uninterrupted throughout the week. So another week of bombing is at our plan, as long as necessary. Oh, great. To achieve our objective of peace throughout the Middle East, indeed the world. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So now, are we going to bomb the world? Is that our plan? And already, let's not pretend, or we know that this is about oil. Who doesn't know that, right? Insurance to cancel policies and raise prices for ships in the Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. So the risk of sending your ships through there is so dangerous now. And I think I was reading that worries that it could go up to like $100 a barrel kind of thing, if you just want to talk about the economics of it. But obviously, I don't ever want to lose sight of the fact that there are people on the ground, right? Hitting schools and such. This would be a response from Bernie Sanders. Bernie says, President Trump, along with his right-wing extremist Israeli ally Benjamin Netanyahu, has begun an illegal and premeditated and unconstitutional war. Tragically, Trump is gambling with American lives and treasure to fulfill Netanyahu's decades-long ambition of dragging the United States into an armed conflict with Iran. The U.S. Constitution is clear. It is the Congress that declares war. not the president acting unilaterally, meaning by himself, right? That's what Trump is doing, does everything by himself and gets a few of his mates in the golf course in Florida, right? The Senate must reconvene immediately and vote on a pending war powers resolution, which I will strongly support. So call back Congress, call back Senate, vote, say no more money spent on this Iran thing. Further, this attack against Iran is a clear violation of international law and will create increased instability in an already dangerous world. If the United States and Israel can launch an attack against a sovereign nation, so can any other country. Might does not make right. It creates international anarchy, death, destruction, and human misery. So the idea would be if one country just decides, okay, we're just going to attack because we feel like it. That's sort of the essence of what Trump is saying, because that's what it's like. We basically have no legitimacy to say bad things about other countries when we're attacking and then just replacing whatever leaders, basically, right? So I think the next thing that we're watching for then, how is China and Russia going to respond? What if China then makes a move on Taiwan? I mentioned that because I think that would be the next logical thing. Or what if North Korea makes a move on South Korea? You never think. So then the USA has no really right to say anything, because it's just like this the same stuff. Well, we just don't like the president in a certain country, so we remove it. So then other countries, oh well, USA does it, so I guess we can do it too. The American people were lied to about Vietnam. The American people were lied to about Iraq. The American people were lied to again today. And once again, it is ordinary people who will pay the price. The people of our country, no matter what their political persuasion, do not want endless war. We want decent paying jobs, healthcare, housing that they can afford. They want all their kids to have an excellent education. We must not allow Trump to force us into another senseless war. No war with Iran. And honestly, I'm with Bernie and all this stuff. I think it's just common sense. It should be obvious, this kind of stuff. But, it's just sad. I've seen it too many years in USA. And if you guys don't know, I mean, I lost my family in the Vietnam War, and I write about this stuff. I talk about it, and it's ugly all around. You don't win. No one wins in this stuff, and you carry the scars with you the rest of your life. That's the best way to describe it. And it's just so ugly. And it's coming from someone like Trump. The dude's a draft dodger, and if he really wants to do this stuff, why doesn't he go? Why doesn't he send his kids? Barons of age, send all your kids. And if people like Trump aren't willing to send their kids, why are you willing to send other people's kids? It's such a sick thing that's happening. So I just want to say, guys, that you're not alone if you're against all this stuff that Trump is doing, and that's internationally, I mean, let alone domestically, sending his ice goons and such. It's just, there's any number of ways you can talk about this, and it's deeply frustrating. So I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and I catch you in the next video.